Hello, second grade. We are coming in from outer space. I thought we'd do some fun background this time. So today what we're going to be learning is about scientists and the tools that scientists use. So I'm going to share my screen with you really quickly. And let's start. Let me go here. Okay, so here we go. Tools scientists use. This is going to be fun. Okay, so some of the tools that scientists use are very specific to what they're doing. Remember last time we talked about the different types of scientists there are and how each scientist is focused on doing something different, right? So if a scientist likes to study the earth, then it's going to focus on things on the earth. If a scientist likes, let's say, water, it's going to start focusing on maybe animals in the water or rocks or plants in the water. Or let's say a scientist is interested in outer space. Well, then it will start studying things in outer space. But when it starts studying and researching is when you start looking for things. You're searching, you're looking over and over and over for something. When they start researching and looking for things, well then they need to use certain tools. So today we're going to talk about those different tools, okay? So scientists use a variety of tools for many different purposes. They use hand lenses and microscopes to magnify objects they want to observe. So, which one of these do you think is a microscope out of these options at the bottom? Good, it's the second one. They also use rulers and scales, and thermometers are used to measure the size, amount, and weight. Scientists use beakers and test tubes. These are beakers over here and test tubes to collect samples, mix solutions together, and heat liquid. Some tools have very specific uses. So some tools you have to use for a specific thing. You can't use it for anything else. Balance scales are used to measure the weight. This is a balance scale. Do you see this? And what do you think it's used for? Yeah, it's used to weight and measure how much a thing weighs. And how much a thing weighs is called the mass. Not like the mass where we go and pray, but it's called the mass. It's how heavy it is. An anemometer, I think Miss Antenna's pronouncing that wrong. Let me try pronouncing that one more time.
Anemometer.
Anemometer. Okay, yeah, let's try that one more time. Sometimes certain words are hard, but let's sound it out. So it's an anemometer. An anemometer measures the wind speed so let's look at where the anemometer is. Here we go. This is an anemometer. An anemometer measures how much wind is coming. Isn't that cool? There's something that measures how much wind there is. And then we have a compass. Do you own a compass at home? Do you know what a compass is? Well, a compass has a couple of purposes, but some of the reasons why one would have a compass is because if you get lost, you need to know where north, south, east, and west is. So a compass will help you. It'll help you see where you're at. Okay? So let's continue to go on. Hand lenses, microscopes, and telescopes are all used to magnify objects. So a microscope, when you look inside a microscope, it helps you magnify an object. Now, why would we need to magnify an object? Why would we need that? Yeah, we would need to magnify an object if the object is so tiny we can't see it. So it's almost as if a microscope and a telescope help us zoom in to see the thing that we want to look at. Okay? Scientists use high-power microscopes to observe things our eyes cannot see. So we use a microscope when we can't see it with our eyes. We need to zoom in to see the thing. And some of those things are cells. These things called cells are so tiny, but we all have them. We have skin cells. They're so tiny you can't even see them. We have, let's see what else. There's germs. Germs are so tiny you can't even see them. That you can use a microscope and zoom in so that you can see it. This is the cell of a plant. So when you look at a plant, you don't look at all these little cells, but they're there. And last but not least, our astronomers, our astronauts, are people who work for NASA who love to observe the outer space will use a telescope. And a telescope will help us zoom in out of Earth and look at the different planets and stars out in our galaxy. Okay, let's continue. So, let's review some of the things that we talked about. So, scientists use test tubes. These are test tubes and beakers. Can you say that with me? A beaker and test tubes. They use these to measure. They use these to collect samples. Let's say they're going out and they want to see if water is clean in the river. So they get a test tube, they scoop up the water, the sample, so that they can test it back in the lab. Or if they want to heat a liquid. Okay. And this one over here is a hand lens. And a hand lens will help us magnify. It'll help us zoom in and see. This one's super easy. This one is a thermometer. And a thermometer helps scientists measure the temperature. Over here, we have a ruler or a tape measure. It's very important that scientists carry around those tape measures and those rulers so that way they can see how long something is, how big it is, how wide it is. And last but not least, now we have two more. Then we have goggles. Scientists need to wear goggles. They need to wear them, safety goggles. And it says it in the name. It's to keep scientists safe. Because if something explodes or something gets, it falls out and it gets into their eyes, it can damage their eyes. So they need to wear goggles so that they're safe. And last but not least, we have a microscope. And a microscope is such a cool thing. you get something so tiny that you can't even see it with your eye, and you put it underneath here, and then you look at it from the top over here, and you can see the tiny, tiny things inside whatever you put underneath the microscope. It's really, really neat. So these are some of the things that scientists use to help them research and help them get the answers to the questions that they're asking. Okay. So now I want you to complete your worksheet in your binder so that way we can get started with that. So please go ahead and take out that worksheet from your binder and make sure to fill it all out, okay? That is the last thing for this video. So as soon as you're done with this video, you can go ahead and take out that worksheet and finish it, okay? If you have any questions, you know that I'm here to help you with whatever you need. Okay, have a great day and God bless. Totus tuus, Maria.